What if everything we knew about our past is only scratching the surface? What if the story of human history is far older, far deeper, and far stranger than we've ever been told before? Let's begin with the Sumerians, arguably the first known advanced civilization, dating back around 6,000 years in ancient Mesopotamia. They left behind stone tablets, complex math, astronomical knowledge, and depictions of curious figures seemingly descending from the skies. But here's the thing, they didn't describe themselves as the first. They told stories of beings who came before them, beings who shaped mankind and brought knowledge from above. The ancient Sumerians were talking about the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are a group of deities from the ancient Mesopotamian cultures, primarily the Sumerians, but also appearing in Akkadian, Babylonian, and Assyrian mythology. Now, just to be clear, the Sumerians did not leave behind a single unified book on the Anunnaki, but they mentioned them frequently across myths, hymns, temple inscriptions, and epic poetry. So based on surviving cuneiform texts, this is what has been said about the Anunnaki by the Sumerians. The Anunnaki were considered gods or divine beings, descendants of the sky god Anu or An. They were celestial judges and held divine authority. They were associated with the underworld, earth, and heaven. Their roles varied depending on which city-state or period you look at. For example, in the city of Eridu, they were linked with Enki, the god of water and wisdom. Their name literally means those of royal seed or princely offspring. They were a group of major gods, not one god, but a divine assembly. And according to historical origins and traditional understanding of Sumerian mythology, around 4,500 to 1900 years BC, these were realms administered by various gods, and the Anunnaki played key roles in keeping cosmic order. In some texts they are referred to as 7 gods, in others they are more numerous, 50 or more depending on context. In the myth, the creation of man, there is a suggestion that humans were created to serve the gods, including possibly the Anunnaki. The god of Enki and the mother goddess Nibiru play a central role in human creation, not the Anunnaki directly. The Anunnaki often appear as the ones who needed laborers for divine work like digging or irrigation canals. It is important to note that the Sumerians did not write or scribe that the Anunnaki genetically engineered humans. That's a modern reinterpretation. In the Sumerian King's List, the Anunnaki are described as the ones who decreed the fates and handed kingship down from heaven. Kingship was seen as a divine gift, legitimized by the Anunnaki, and the Anunnaki appear in the Epic of Gilgamesh, where they act as judges of the dead in the underworld. They're often referred to as 7 judges or council members who wield great power over the fate of humanity. And in Akkadian and Babylonian stories, they were portrayed as a pantheon of gods serving under greater deities like Enlil or Enki. Zecharia Sitchin has in the past, by the mainstream to be fair, has been described as a controversial person, an individual according to mainstream historians and archaeologists. Sitchin was an Azerbaijan-born scholar, journalist, and author best known for his Earth Chronicles series. Now, he proposed a controversial ancient astronaut hypothesis claiming that humanity was influenced or even engineered by extraterrestrial beings known as the Anunnaki, who he said came from a place called Nibiru, a planet traveling a 3,600-year orbit in our solar system. In his best-selling series, The Earth Chronicles, Sitchin interprets ancient Sumerian myths, literally arguing that advanced terrestrials shaped human civilization, built monuments like the pyramids, and taught us agriculture and engineering techniques. His most controversial ideas, which caused uproar in the scientific communities, were the existence of a 12th planet, Nibiru, with a 3,600-year highly elliptical orbit. Now, the Anunnaki, a race of advanced beings who came to Earth for gold and engineered humans through genetic manipulation. Ancient structures such as the pyramids were not built by humans alone, but with the help of these extraterrestrials. And while Sitchin's book sold millions and were translated into over 25 different languages, mainstream experts across archaeology, science, astronomy, and linguists widely criticize them as pseudoscience, as you would naturally expect them to. They're never going to accept something like this, are they? Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. Because if we accepted this, then it destroys everything, the very fabric of where everything has been built on. Critics identify errors in Sumerian translations, astronomical claims, and historical methodology. So why is Zecharia Sitchin so popular still? His work has helped popularize the ancient astronaut theory alongside figures like Erich von Däniken. Sitchin appeared on shows like Ancient Aliens, spoke on radio programs like Coast to Coast, and retained a devoted following. His influence reaches beyond pop culture into Scientology, adjacent groups, and the sci-fi realm. Sitchin was a self-taught expert in ancient languages who interpreted Sumerian mythology to create a captivating narrative of human origins involving alien intervention. Though academically discredited, his books remain popular among readers who enjoy alternate history and conspiracy theories. Sitchin claimed to have reinterpreted Sumerian texts suggesting the Anunnaki were actually extraterrestrials from a planet called Nibiru, and according to him, these beings arrived on Earth over 400,000 years ago. He argued that they genetically engineered humans using hominids and their own DNA to mine gold for them, especially in regions like Africa. He believed Nibiru follows a highly elliptical orbit and returns to Earth's vicinity every 3,600 years. Sitchin's theory suggests that these stories in ancient mythologies are literally records of alien encounters misunderstood over time as myth. Linguists and historians almost unanimously reject Sitchin's work. His translations of cuneiform texts are considered widely inaccurate. Ancient Sumerian cylinder seals often depict gods and celestial imagery. Some theorists interpret these as proof of knowledge of our solar system, citing a famous seal that allegedly shows the sun with 11 orbiting planets, but this is widely disputed by experts. Proponents of the ancient alien theory say that myths of the Anunnaki creating humans represent ancient knowledge of genetic manipulation. Critics argue that these are symbolic myths of creation and not literal references to advanced science. Why would advanced ancient civilizations such as the Sumerians, the Babylonians, and the Akkadians have legendary stories about the Anunnaki? Why do all three different civilizations share some kind of origin civilization? Why, when looking through these images of stone tablets about the creation theory, the 11 orbiting planets, why does that make sense? And why, when you hear mainstream science dismiss all this and say it's just symbolic references, why does that sound inaccurate? Do you not feel like we owe this to ourselves as mankind to investigate these findings further, to better understand where we actually came from? There is a lot of thought-provoking ideas here. All of this is best guess from everybody. But at the very least, these theories of ancient advanced civilizations crediting even older civilizations, gods or beings from elsewhere, deserves to be thoroughly investigated. The thousands of ancient relics and tablets from the Sumerians that are still lying in museums that have never been studied deserve to be studied thoroughly. Thank you for watching. If you found this fascinating, hit that like button and subscribe for more interesting content about this mysterious old world where it feels like part of our human history just doesn't quite make sense. And don't forget to let me know in the comments what you think of the video.